Hello and welcome to this special edition of Restarting India, where we put the spotlight on the MSME sector. Micro, small and medium enterprises are the second largest employment generators in the country, and the COVID-induced lockdown, combined with an already slowing economy, has prompted the government and the Reserve Bank to step in with measures to help the sector. Now, this includes the 3 lakh crore rupee emergency credit line guarantee scheme, which aims to improve asset quality for the sector, as well as the RBI's decision to allow loan restructuring to borrowers who cannot start the repayment of loans after the end of the moratorium period. In fact, as of the latest data from the Finance Ministry, public sector and private sector banks have sanctioned loans worth over 1.51 lakh crore rupees under the emergency credit line scheme. But have these measures spurred investment and sentiment in the sector? Over the next 30 minutes, our team of reporters at CNBC TV 18 will take a look at how the MSME sector is responding to the growing calls to be more vocal for local and the challenges and opportunities that lie therein. First up, we take a look at how a hike in import duties is giving a push to local manufacturing of traditionally indigenous industries like textiles and agarbattis. Timsy Jaipuria travels to Khadi, India, and speaks with the chairman of the Khadi and Village Industries Commission to find out if the industry is indeed growing vocal for local.
As Prime Minister gives an additional push to the Atmanirbhar Bharat program by empowering the MSMEs by giving them a new jargon that is vocal for local. So going ahead with this program, KVIC, that is the Khadi and the Village Industries, which have been one of the integral part of empowering the MSMEs, our local artisans, craftsmen, etc., to giving them a platform to sell their products and take their products to a new height with the new pay scales, etc. Today we are joined by Chairman of KVIC, V.K. Saxena. Mr. Saxena, if you could just elaborate on how government is now going ahead with the entire vocal for local push.
अभी आपने देखा कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री ने एक जो पुश दिया है वोकल फॉर लोकल, आत्मनिर्भर भारत, उसमें केवीआईसी का जो रोल है वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। अगरबत्ती इस देश का हेरिटेज है, लेकिन 2011 में जब उस पर इम्पोर्ट ड्यूटी को 30% से 10% कर दिया गया और बाद को 5% कर दिया गया, उससे जो इम्पोर्ट था वो ऑलमोस्ट 80% तक पहुंच गया जो हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट का था, जिसने इस इंडस्ट्री को पूरी तरह ख़त्म कर दिया। कि अगरबत्ती की जो पर डे की रिक्वायरमेंट है वो 1490 टन पर डे की है। इट्स ए ह्यूज रिक्वायरमेंट, और इसमें लाखों लोग काम करते थे। इतनी संस्थाएं, इतनी इंस्टीट्यूशंस खड़ी हो गई हैं जो लोकल अगरबत्ती की मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करने लगी हैं, लोकल अगरबत्ती की मशीनें हैं उनकी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करने लगी, जो भी हमारे देश के लिए बहुत बड़ी बात है। अभी तक 80 to 90% मशीनें जो थी वो इम्पोर्टेड लगा कर दी थी।
कितनी ऐसी संस्थाएं हैं फिलहाल जो खादी के साथ जुड़ी हैं? खादी
की जो लगभग 2600 संस्थाएं हैं जो पूरे देश के अंदर हैं, और वो अलग अलग तरीके के प्रोडक्ट्स को बना रही हैं, जिसमें उनकी महारत है। कुछ खादी के कपड़े इस तरीके के बनते हैं जो दुनिया में कोई और बना ही नहीं सकता, कोई मशीन नहीं बना सकती। जैसे मसलिन है, 400 काउंट और 500 काउंट का मसलिन जो है वो अद्भुत है। इसी तरीके से सिल्क हैं इस देश का, वो सिल्क भी इंपोर्ट हो रहा था, जिसको भी बैन करने के लिए रिक्वेस्ट की गई और शायद बहुत जल्दी उस पर भी बैन लग जाएगा। पिछले साल के कंपैरिजन में हम लोगों ने इन 5 महीनों में जो है लगभग 44% यूनिट्स को ज़्यादा लगाया है। सरकार की जो स्कीम्स होती हैं, और ख़ासतौर से केवीआईसी का हमारा ये काम ये है कि जो हमारे साथ जुड़ रहा है उसको हम मार्केटिंग का भी प्लेटफॉर्म दें। जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन प्रोग्राम जो हमारी फ्लैगशिप स्कीम है, केवीआईसी की इतनी छोटी छोटी सी यूनिट्स जो चंद्रयान में जो कुछ पार्ट्स लगे हैं उनको भी बनाने में सफल हुई हैं, और ये पूरा देश इस बात को जानता है कि उसके कुछ पार्ट्स को केवीआईसी की पीएमईजीपी यूनिट्स ने बनाया है। बदलाव बहुत आया है लोगों के अंदर एक एनर्जी आई है कि हम वास्तव में जो है अपने लोकल प्रोडक्ट्स को वोकल कर सकते हैं। और आप दुनिया के किसी भी बड़े ब्रांड को देख लीजिए, वो छोटे से गाँव से ही शुरू हुआ है।
With the call to make local more vocal, small indigenous manufacturers are now working towards to catering to the big demand push. I am here in Modi Nagar, where Manav Seva Samiti Khanjarpur, which manufactures handlooms, soaps, shampoos, etc., which are then procured by Khadi India to sell under their brand. Let's see how they are coping up with this new challenge.
आपका नाम? रीता।
कितने सालों से चरखी का काम कर रही हैं?
20 साल हो गए।
आप आपको मोदी जी का जो नया नारा है वोकल फॉर लोकल, इसके बारे में क्या पता है?
हम ये चाहते हैं ये सामान पूरे देश में बिके और जिससे देश की तरक्की होवे।
आपका नाम?
मेरा नाम बबीता है।
कितने सालों से काम कर रही हैं?
मैं 10 साल से काम करती हूँ।
लोकल फॉर वोकल नारे से आपको क्या फायदा है?
लोकल सामान बिकेगा तभी तो देश की तरक्की होगी और रोजगार बढ़ेगा तभी हमें पैसा मिलेगा।
यहाँ क्या तैयार हो रहा है?
जो आपने देखा वहाँ जो धागा बन रहा है,
हाँ।
उससे ये 90 इंची बने का
हाँ।
खादी का कपड़ा बन रहा है हैंडलूम में।
ये हमारी क्रीम मशीन है, इसमें हम जो बैच ले रहे हैं इस समय, ये मैडम गोल्ड स्क्रब हम इसमें बना रहे हैं।
यहाँ क्या बन रहा है?
इसमें मैम ये शैम्पू और फेस वॉश मशीन है, ये हॉट केटल है। इसमें हम हर्बल ग्लिसरीन बॉडी वॉश जो ग्लिसरीन सोप खादी में सेल होता है उसकी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर रहे हैं।
As Khadi India looks to expand its reach to homegrown manufacturers, the new Vocal for Local mantra will give a new dimension to the micro, small and medium enterprises of the country. However, the new demand push needs to be coupled with better quality and services to make buyers move in large numbers to make the Vocal for Local mantra a dream come into reality. With camera person Saroj Singh, this is Timsi Jaipuria in Modi Nagar.
Well, fruit and vegetable sanitizers, immunity drops, sterilizers for air, water and surfaces. These are some of the innovations that have come out of the Bangalore Bio-Innovation Centre during the COVID-19 pandemic. Mugdha Warrior gets us a sneak peek into some of these products.
The COVID-19 pandemic has spurred innovation when it comes to hygiene, sanitization, immunity boosting, health monitoring and overall healthcare. I'm checking into the Bangalore Bio-Innovation Centre to look at a few such interesting innovations that have come up in just the last few months.
This is the high-watt system, UV high-watt system from BioFi. Our goal is to help people get back to work and feel safe about it. So this is installed in air duct systems, and it completely sterilizes the flowing air of all microorganisms. So the air coming into your room is completely sterilized and free of microbes.
So this will be good for any air-conditioned offices?
This will be good for
air-conditioned
any
rooms?
air-conditioned office, theaters, malls.
It's going to make it
where
safe.
there's an air conditioning system. That is correct.
All right. All right. So that's for air.
That is for
this
air.
is for surfaces.
This is for surface. So when you bring an object from outside into the room, the object can be potentially contaminated. So you can keep your objects inside the UV 360 chamber. It has a complete 360-degree sterilization of the object in less than 15 seconds. Any product can be kept inside. And within 15 seconds, it's completely sterilized and free of all microorganisms.
And any product would mean electronics, organic products, fruits, vegetables, anything can go inside.
Absolutely. Any product can be kept inside.
Within 15 seconds?
Within 15 seconds, it gets completely sterilized. And we also built a safety system that where when you open the door, the UV is cut off because UV is harmful and so it needs to be away from human exposure.
All right. And lastly, this is for water purification. Just tell us about this product.
So here we use a patented technology, and then this is for inflow water system. So it is connected to every water delivery point, and then the water that flows through this device is completely sterilized of microorganisms from 99.99%.
Okay, so this will be fitted into taps.
We are looking to build the version that will go into taps, and that's our vision, is to put it into every water delivery point.
After COVID struck in January, we have seen lot of spurt in queries about how they want to solve this problem. All the researchers and innovators have come together, not only in a collaborative mode, also but if they had some capabilities and they were looking for laboratories and some support system to solve those problems, and we provided all those support systems.
This is basically a veggie which can be used for as a sanitizers for the various vegetables, fruits and all. Basically it contains tulsi, haridra rasa as well as soap nut. So soap nut can be a replacement for the alcohol, and we are also avoiding the usage of chlorine. So it is considered like it should not be harm to the one who use.
So anyone can use this. But is there any scientific facts or any scientific reports saying that herbal solutions like these are effective against the coronavirus?
Not directly, ma'am. basically the fruits and vegetables which contains more preferably pesticides, bacteria, and the viral kind of things. So definitely through our product we can going to use it to wash completely, so that we can get in completely with the fresh one.
One innovator, Aspartica, they have developed beam roti. They say beam roti. It appears to be innovation-wise, people may not grasp the importance of this innovation, but actually a lot of science and innovation has gone into it. It has a concentrated amount of all the immunity boosters that is recommended by Ayush, and they have incorporated into roti, which can be preserved for 6 months. One innovation is from cardiac design, which is they have developed something called Padma Vitals. As you know, a lot of doctors got infected themselves. So this device can be put near the bedside of patient, and it can detect all the vitals, and it can send through telemetry.
These products have already been launched in the market, while many others are set to be launched soon. These startups and entrepreneurs expect a huge demand for their products from both consumers and industries as the pandemic continues. In Bangalore, Mugdha Warrior.
While most large consumer goods companies struggle to get their products to stores in the lockdown, regional players plug this gap by getting their products to stores via strong local distribution networks. Priya Sheth reports on the growth that local players have seen over the last 3 to 4 months. Take a look.
Be it chips, detergents or sauces, almost every shelf in this store has local brands that have managed to stand out amid this lockdown. Local brands have managed to plug the gap when the industry was facing challenges such as supply chain issues as well as limited product availability. In fact, a study by the Cantor World Panel says that regional or local brands grew at the same rate as national brands in terms of volumes in rural areas.
During the lockdown and this, we recently had a sale. We've onboarded about 600 of them in that period. And now, if you look at the sale numbers, we recently ran a sale from 8th to 16th August. And for that time period, we sold about 8 crore items, right? Of which 3.6 crores were from these local manufacturers.
And of course, local brands also gain market share. According to market research firm Nielsen, the top 3 packaged rice manufacturers had a cumulative market share of 72% in February, which came down to 64% in March after new players entered the segment. Similar was the case with a dozen other categories.
Got as traction was both in our core categories, which is the herb seasoning spices, which KI is known for, and every household, premium household has stocks our products. Now that category grew for us nearly 80% over last year. But our new products like gourmet products like pasta sauces, ketchups, gourmet sauces, this entire category tripled over last year. Okay. Overall, as a portfolio, we've doubled our business over what we were doing last year, and at very healthy run rates.
Which means that, in online, we've grown 10x, and our general trade business has grown significantly. Our modern trade is coming back to normal. What has actually, we have had to close down for the moment is our food service business, because most of the restaurants and cloud kitchens did shut down or are working at very, very low levels. A whole new division of Wingreens Farms Organics. So we're getting into the entire spectrum of organic food. We're also going to be launching Wingreens Farms beverages.
To cash in on this buying momentum, local brands are doubling down on their investments, strengthening their supply chains, and offering lucrative margins to retailers so that their products can retain their space on shelves. In Mumbai, Priya Sheth.
while regional brands getting top shelf space there. On that note, we'll take a break, but on the other side, we take a look at how the India toy story is shaping up. Also in focus is the Delhi government's electric vehicle policy and how firms are gearing up for the stated aim to have 500,000 EVs on Delhi roads by 2025. That and more when we return. India, let's now focus on toy makers. Earlier this week, Prime Minister Modi, during his Mann Ki Baat address, emphasized on the need to boost local manufacturing of toys and increase the imprint in the global market. The industry is being seen as one of the focus areas of the government under the Vocal for Local campaign. My colleague Anu Sharma today takes stock of the MSME cluster to understand what needs to give the Indian toy story a real boost.
Domestic sales of toys in India are pegged at about 12,000 crore rupees. But only 25% of these sales come from the Indian toy manufacturers and 75% of those sales are of the Chinese products. But the recent comments made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi has brought in a wave of optimism for the sector as they expect long pending and much needed measures for the sector under the Atmanirbhar Bharat and Vocal for Local campaign.
China से खिलौने सस्ते आते थे, सस्ते तो आते थे लेकिन उसकी क्वालिटी इंडियन टॉयज़ के मुकाबले सस्ती क्वालिटी थोड़ी पुअर रहती थी, तो इसलिए वो टॉयज़ सस्ते भी थे। हम लोगों ने यहाँ इंडिया में क्वालिटी को मेंटेन किया और जैसे मैं वुडन टॉयज़ की बात करूँ अपने फील्ड में, तो लिटिल जीनियस ने एक क्वालिटी को मेंटेन किया तो उसके प्रोडक्ट की जो डिमांड है विदेश में भी हुई। टॉयज़ के लिए विशेष दर्जा देने की बात या वो कह दी है, उससे हम भी बहुत उत्साहित हैं कि चलो इतने समय बाद हमारी एक पहचान तो इंडिया में हुई। पीएम साहब ने कहा है तो मुझे लगता है जल्दी इसके ऊपर कोई नेशनल पॉलिसी बनेगी और हम टॉयज़ वालों को कुछ और अधिक सब्सिडी या बेनिफिट्स दिए जाएंगे जिससे कि हम इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में अपने आप को उनसे जो है कंपटीशन कर पाएंगे।
मैंने अपना बिजनेस ये 1979 में स्टार्ट करा था और नो डाउट जो फॉरेन ब्रांड्स हैं उनकी क्वालिटी वाइज दे आर मच सुपीरियर एज कंपेयर टू द इंडियन वंस। लेकिन अभी जो रिसेंटली मोदी गवर्नमेंट ने जो स्कीम लाई है BIS की, BIS 9873, उसके अंदर हम अपनी जब क्वालिटी इम्प्रूव कर लेंगे तो आई कैन चैलेंज कि भी हमें कोई भी चाहे मल्टीनेशनल ब्रांड हो या कुछ भी हो, हम क्वालिटी का प्रोडक्ट जो पूरी गुणवत्ता में पास होगा उस तरह के टॉयज़ हम बना के दे पाएंगे और दे देंगे। ऐसा अभी कुछ कंपनियां यहाँ पे कर रही हैं।
We started our own factory by backward integration in 2006. Now, as far as the comments that have been made by Honorable Prime Minister, we welcome them. We as industry needed something like it. It was high time that we as country recognize toys as an industry which has potential.
What do you expect more from the government side, from the policy side, in order to reach that kind of potential?
Okay, three things I'd like to point out. One is plug and play infrastructure. That is something that is available world over, ready to move in factories. So common facility area or a design institute to help those clusters is the second thing I propose. We are also learning. Whatever compliances are coming, we need some time on it. We need time for capacity building, we need time for infrastructure development. So hand-holding in terms of lead time should be given to us.
Devoid of recognition for decades, the domestic toy manufacturing industry has currently pinned their hopes on the central government to lay out a comprehensive roadmap. The industry needs hand-holding and currently await more clarity from the central government in terms of what are the steps and measures that will be implemented on the ground to bring this industry to the forefront. This is me, Anu Sharma, reporting from Delhi with camera person Lakshman Singh.
Well, as the government pushes for the adoption of electric vehicles in the country through its various policy incentives, homegrown players are rising to the challenge. Alisha Sachdev visits the startup Omega Seki's factory in Haryana to bring us this report on how the company is looking to make 100% made-in-India vehicles with help from existing small businesses. Take a look.
Omega Seiki's factory in Faridabad in Haryana. The company makes automotive components and full-fledged EVs and has clients such as Delivery, Amazon and Diageo. And after PM Modi's Vocal for Local campaign sprang up, the company has redoubled efforts to rise to the challenge. For many years, Indian EV makers have been importing essential EV components from other countries, especially China, and these cost a pretty penny. But after policy interventions to foster local manufacturing, Omega Seiki is working to ensure that these key components are 100% made in India. The product we're standing in front of is a fully made in India electric goods carrier. Now explain to us why localization of the EVs that you make here is such an important part of your business, and how does that actually help you achieve cost competitiveness in a market which very largely depends on imports, especially from China. So how are you achieving that at Omega Seiki?
Omega Rage and Omega Rage Plus has been built for completely make in India. We have been working on the technology for 3-4 years. We are aware of the fact that this has been a 3-4 year R&D project. Everything that we have used in these vehicles of ours are made in India. And what we have done is we have made the cost side of things very competitive to the petrol and the diesel vehicles. And so what we feel is that in the current condition, costs are going to be very well managed, and because Indian consumers are so cost competitive, and everything here has been made from localization, that we do not need anything from China at the moment. And we don't believe that we will need anything. And the Atmanirbhar plan that Modi ji has talked about, we have been on that journey for the last 3-4 years.
Interesting. So, Mr. Narang, why is it that so few businesses are actually focusing on localizing just about every component here? Is it a problem of scale? Is it a problem of there not being enough demand? And how are you solving for those issues?
Look, I think the issue of demand is going to be coming. I don't think that, I think by 2025, 2030, I think 25 to 30, maybe bigger part of our ecosystem in cargo will all be into electric. Today, Flipkart came in and said, look, by 2030, all our vehicles will be electric. So I think the demand side is not as much, in suspect right now that it was before. As far as localization, we believe that the costs are competitive enough. We are building an ecosystem from the batteries to the powertrains to the automotive parts that we will be very cost competitive, and we don't need to import anything from China. Actually, Omega Rage and Omega Rage Plus have nothing made in China.
Make in India, of course, is a campaign which encourages localization across industries. It also encourages, small and medium enterprises. And a lot of the component supply chain that we see in the automotive business is actually consisting of, the smaller tier 2 and 3 players. So how are you integrating them into your business and ensuring that you take these players also along, in your drive towards electric vehicles?
Very good point. We are working with multiple areas in the small business and the MSMEs to help us in this journey through many, many different parts, and not just in North India, across the nation, because we're going to build factories across the nation in the West, in the South, in Karnataka, in Andhra, and in obviously NCR. So a lot of the Make in India products that we do not do internally, we are working with MSMEs, we are working with small businesses to help and localize all of that product. And I keep coming back to it. The key to here is to build the ecosystem. And if we have the ecosystem, we have multiple suppliers, we have multiple choices, and that can keep the supply chains going. So that is something we are effectively working on.
Who some of your clients are, and what industries are you interested in operating in, and how soon do we see some of the vehicles and the prototypes that you've either developed or are developing actually be deployed on the roads? And with that, would you also offer a full gamut of solutions also to go with it?
Sure, very good question. Key thing is that we are going to be starting to provide all the products. The Omega Rage and Omega Rage Plus is going to be starting in September 15th. We're going to start rolling them out. We have customers like Amazon and Flipkart and other customers in all different levels in the e-commerce space. We've spoken a lot to delivery and many other places. We are also working with alcohol companies that want to, the Diageos of the world, the Amarajas of the world, the Excides of the world, and in multiple areas of customer level. The issue for us is not the demand, it's the supply. And there is an urgent need, specifically in the L5 category, that we believe that we are issuing here, that's going to be able to help our customers. We believe that our two-wheelers in the cargo sector and then the four-wheelers coming next year are going to be used not just here in this country, but all across ASEAN. So we are planning to build an Indian and a pan-ASEAN business.
As the applications for and the demand for EVs grows in India, the EV ecosystem and its cost competitiveness will have to grow along with it. And that is possible only with ever-increasing localization. In Faridabad, Alisha Sachdev.
Well, with that, it is time for us to wrap up this special broadcast of Restarting India. Many thanks for watching, but do stay tuned. The news will continue.